Right. Good evening, people. My name is JR and I am the FRgooner. How's everyone this week?
All
All
good,
good,
All
broski.
positive.
good. Good victory on
Yeah.
the weekend, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
hey, back to winning ways. We bounced back quickly.
Yep.
That's what we
Got the one.
needed.
Nervous though.
Hun-
Nervous though.
yeah. Let's delve into it. We're not gonna spend too much time on it, but we did get the victory. Firstly, I want to just touch upon Buendia v Odegaard, because obviously in the summer we were obviously going for Buendia. It seemed it looked like we were going to get him. We didn't get him in the end, and in the end we got Odegaard.
Mm.
Marcelo, happy with that decision?
I'm very happy, bro. Come on. There was so much hype around Buendia, and people were like, they thought that we were just slacking by not signing somebody. But I think that it was very clearly justified when you see what Odegaard's been doing since, December and on. It took him a little while to adjust. He wasn't quite in form, and it took him a while to transition into the team fully. But I mean, when you look at us now, man, you could argue he's the first name in the team sheet, just given how he facilitates everything in the final third. So, and then obviously when Dia has not really shown anything that special.
Do you rate him at all though in Buendia? Do you think? Because
I
obviously,
rate him.
yeah.
I definitely rate him, but I mean, I don't think that I personally was not, desperate for us to sign him or anything. And I think the price tag that was being thrown around for who at the time was a championship player, it didn't really seem like it made that much sense. So I'm just happy. I think it's a sign of us being a little bit smarter in terms of business instead of, impulsively just dropping a big bag on somebody because we're linked with him. So I thought it was great that we were, a little bit more, patient.
Kurt,
Yeah, I agree with you, man.
Go on, bro. Nabil, I was just gonna say, is it fair to say that is he a Premiership standard player, or is he a player that
Buendia.
he's come from the Championship and he hasn't quite
Yeah.
made it? What
Listen,
would you say about Buendia?
it's happened a lot of times, and I think we have to give Arteta some credit there. I think in regards to that position there, I think it's been three players that I've seen sort of like the pivot and how we've moved across. A lot of people were moaning about the sale of Willock, or your twin brother up there. Yeah,
My guy.
you lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were questioning that. But to be fair, to get 35 mil for him, then to bring in, Odegaard for 30 mil, 35 mil. To be fair, I think it was a perfect transfer. He got to come to the club for 6 months. As I agree with Marcelo, I think he did quite decent, to be fair, because you got to think to yourself, Odegaard has had a career of rejection. He was a superstar kid. You go to Real Madrid. Can you imagine just getting loaned out? So for him to come, have a little taster for the Premiership, know that, okay, this is the league for me. And then for Arteta to not sign Buendia, I think that would have been a massive risk again. 40 mil for, listen, the Championship players, sometimes you can get some good ones, but you're seeing him struggling badly. Like a lot of Villa's signings are struggling badly. Even, their Bailey, he's struggling. So I think it was fantastic business. And I think it's even disrespectful to put, I'm not even going to lie, to put Odegaard in that group of players.
Wow.
I don't know if we should be talking about Willock, Odegaard, and Buendia. He's not even in that party. We should not even, no way. So that's how good, and that's a testament. You see, I do give Arteta credit when it's due, that he deserves that, because that transfer was fantastic. 35 mil for that. 30. People talk about Maddison for 70 mil for Maddison. This is, and we will say, yeah, let's buy him. So
yeah, for real.
Unbelievable.
Bargain. And Kaleem, before your battery dies, I just want to ask you, obviously, no, joking. I was kind of shocked by Aston Villa. Did you expect more? I mean, I didn't really see much of an attacking threat.
I mean, them at home against the big six, for example, versus United, it was a similar story, but they were able to come back very passive in the first half. And in the second half, they started to come into the game a little bit in the United game, and similar in our game. But I think there's slight differences in terms of how we played, and like a bit of fatigue from the Liverpool game and whatnot. But they had what, less than 8 touches in our box in the first half. That's, even for Villa at home, it's a bit pathetic. Like, I wouldn't have expected that. I would have thought we should have imposed ourselves on them, but I didn't expect them to be that bad in the first half. I don't think anyone could have predicted that. They were really, really poor.
Yeah, and one shot on target too. I must say I was disappointed. I think before the match I was pretty nervous, to be quite honest. I thought this could be one of those matches where we could end up drawing, perhaps losing. I thought they were going to be much more of an attacking threat. I thought, you know, the likes of Coutinho and Buendia, I was slightly worried, you know. But Kerr, talk to me about Coutinho, bro. Because for me, he didn't really turn up. That looked like the Coutinho from Barcelona.
Yeah, but you know what? Instead of every week knocking the opposition, yeah, I'm actually gonna give our boys some credit.
Yeah,
on this occasion. Yeah, I'm gonna give our team some flowers, man. I'm gonna say that, look, Villa come into this game in some form. The game we won previously to that, the Leicester game or whatever, before the Liverpool game, they come into that game with us in form as well. So a lot of people have been very dismissive, you know, easily like, oh, you know, Villa just didn't turn up, whatever, without actually analysing how good we were. I mean, Villa had, you know, a few moments that had us maybe a little bit nervy, but that was more because we didn't kill the game off. We was always in control of it. I think it was very similar to the Leicester game as well, where, you know, we were dominating, but we didn't really kill it off as such, you know. And I feel like we're going to have that problem this season until the end of the season. I feel like, because we're missing that goal threat, we're missing that striker.
Sorry,
the spearhead. Well, we are, innit? It's blatant to see. I've never said we ain't. Lacazette brings something to our game. He makes us play better.
Kerr, you walked into that
than we have been. You know, I'll die on that hill.
You're right, Kerr. You're right. No, you are right. You're right.
But you know, when we change that player, you know, then. But for now, games are going to be tighter than they need to be, innit? Because we ain't got that real clinical striker. But at the moment, we are managing the game. And this is where our defense and our shape and everything is actually coming to fruition, because we're not necessarily killing teams off. We're managing to get in front though, which is a change. We're breaking down teams and things like that. But then we're also managing to say, do you know what? We've broke it down. Now we're going to shut up shop and you're not breaking us down. And then we'll take the 3 points. And I'm actually liking that, because I'm beginning to see us maturing a little bit, I believe, game by game. And yeah, I think that's where we are at the moment.
No, fair enough. Would you kind of experiment with the likes of, say, you're talking about the lack of a attacking threat? Would you experiment with the likes of, say, Pepe or Martinelli through the middle, instead of Lacazette, or is it too risky at this time?
You know what? At the moment, I'd keep it as it is, yeah. But what I would do, because every game at the moment is big points or on the line. So every game's a cup final. That's how our players are treating it. You can see by the way that they're, you know, celebrating at the end of games and whatever else. You know, this means something to them at the minute. And yeah, I just think that they're on course at the moment to make the objectives, and it means something. And yeah, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing from the boys at the minute.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Now, they made a big thing on the week, and I didn't really want to touch on it, but we might as well, in terms of the fact that we were celebrating. You know, Bangyo was getting on to us for celebrating the victory. Do you think he's got an argument there, or do you think that the fact that we got the victory, it was important for us? Do you think that the boys had a right to celebrate?
Listen, let me tell you one thing, yeah. I am the youngest in my family. I enjoy pissing people off. I do. I like to antagonize people.
No way.
I do. And do you know what I love about this now is that the Arsenal fans, if they're moaning about this now, you better pray we don't get top 4. Better pray. No. Why can we not celebrate? This is just sour grapes. And for me, I'm seeing a lot of progress here. because it happened with Wolves last month when Neves was moaning that, oh yeah, they're going on like and then we clapped you again. So that's the double over you. So you just keep quiet. You're not coming to top 4. Ashley Young, it's just sour grapes, and I love to see it, because when people are moaning, that means you're actually getting under their skin. Gone are the days of, Arsenal. Do you remember? Oh, Arsenal, don't worry, you're soft anyway. By November, you'll be out. They're a soft touch. You can kick them. You can do whatever you need to do. That never happened. So for me, we can do what we want at Arsenal Football Club. I'm not listening to any other fan or any other player. We can celebrate as much as we want. So that is just a moot point. And I think that's a point because you're really pissing people off. And I like it. This is my club. This is what I want to do. I want to get and piss people off again, and other fans complaining that we're celebrating. I think obviously Ashley Young was talking about, okay, it's kind of like they won the league. But for us, we're trying to get to the Champions League. Years ago, when Wenger said we're trying to get top 4, I remember a certain man used to say to me, oh my God, your club's a joke club. What, top 4? Yeah, you're not even... Now, I remember when Liverpool made top 4, them man were going on like they had won the Champions League. I could not believe... Everybody's club now is... we have to make sure we get top 4. When Wenger was doing this, he was criticised. Where now every club is doing it. So what I'm seeing now, we should over-celebrate. And they should be proud. They haven't conceded a goal from a corner. The defence is tight now. You can't score against us. So what? You just want us to humbly just walk down the tunnel? This is Arsenal Football Club. And it's not going to happen.
But Nabil, one of my Tottenham mates, I do have a couple. He actually mentioned that, when they got top 4 and we weren't getting top 4, we were shouting at them, it's only top 4. Do you know what I'm saying? What are you cheering for? Why are you so happy?
Well,
do you know what I'm saying?
And rightfully so. But listen, look, Tottenham have been in the conversation for a little bit because they've finished above us. Remember, they've only won in their whole history 2 league titles. The last one was 1961. They've got no Premier League titles. I don't know why some Arsenal fans get into it with Spurs fans. Because honestly, you just have to ask them, remember, how many leagues have you won? They're down there with Bournemouth and these sort of teams, we're on 13. If you had 13 mil and some guy had 2 mil, would you be chatting to him if he's there barking? And you just think, listen, guys, get into double figures, then you can come chat to him. So the Spurs fans, you know what? Sometimes we humour it because they were finishing above us. But the reality is we are going to take the piss out of you because you have never won. I'm not even talking about league titles. You've won 2. Arsene Wenger won 3. So alone, he's won more than your whole history in terms of league titles. So of course we're going to cuss. Of course we're going to tease them. That's what they're there for. I don't know how Tottenham fans are getting sensitive. We're going to tease you because you're a smaller club. That's it.
Come on.
And get on with it. If they're going to get offended about it, men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
Talk the ting.
Cheese.
Okay. Cheese. So Marcelo, I just want to ask you then, in terms of in the past, we've kind of been, they've talked about our mentality, our soft mentality, so to speak. Obviously, the other day we lost to Liverpool, a very good Liverpool side. But is there anything to say about the way we bounce back? Is there a shift in culture in terms of the strength of the team, or
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Because obviously, to be fair, Liverpool is, significantly better than any other team in the Prem bar City. They're on the same level. But again, I know it can get sort of repetitive when you keep pointing to our age and how young we are. But that is something you have to bring up when you're talking about being able to bounce back, because, when you're young, that's when confidence can be much more delicate. And so to lose to Liverpool after playing pretty well, I don't want to, act like first half FC, people were teasing us after the City game, but we held our own for a good 45, 50 minutes. Right. And then quality showed quality. You turn off for 2 seconds and then they're through on goal and they score. But, for us to bounce back as well as we did, that was our first time winning at Villa Park since they got promoted again in 2019. So it says a lot about our character, and it says a lot about the culture that Arteta's building, because I think that the biggest difference now from what has happened over the last 5, 6, 7 years is there are no longer any cliques in the dressing room. There are no, mini squads within the squad. And I think that was something that he was extremely conscious of doing, is avoiding those sort of smaller cliques within the group. And I think that chemistry that's there now, that camaraderie within the whole squad, I think that's the biggest factor in terms of how we're able to bounce back so quickly, because we're so together now. And there's so much within the squad in one another. Not that there wasn't before, but there's just less imaginary dividing lines now. And I think everyone's fighting for each other. And it's very clear, based on a couple of these late wins and these big 1-0 results, how much they're playing for the manager too. And I think that's a really important thing to keep in mind too, because when you're fighting for the manager and you're fighting for each other, that's when I'm not, angry about a result like Liverpool, because I know that they're giving it their all. I don't have to worry about someone's not giving it their all or someone's sort of, half-assing it. So that I'm really happy about that. And we do have to improve our results against the big teams, but that's going to come. We just need a big summer, which I think we're going to have.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, in terms of, because you're Mr. Positive. Every time I speak to you, you're a positive person on this pod, I have to say, yeah. But is there any negatives to take from the last match? Obviously, Kerr pointed out that the fact that we only did get the 1 goal. We had 10 shots, 3 on target, 1 goal. Is there any negatives or concerns that you take away from that match, or even the Liverpool match?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the only thing I'll say is it's a short-term negative, but it will feel much bigger if we don't finish in the top 4, because we do not, like Kurt was saying, we do not have enough goals off the bench. I'm sure we all saw Nketiah inexplicably fell over the ball at one point. Nothing was happening. He just fell.
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm not trying to get on Nketiah's back or whatever, but we just need more quality off the bench, man. And that is concerning that we're not killing off games consistently, because we shouldn't have been like Leno's save at the end. Let's be honest, it was not like some spectacular top drawer save, but we were more excited because it was only 1-0. If it was 2-0, we wouldn't have been, over the moon about that. I'm super happy for Leno. I'm not taking anything away from Leno. I'm really gassed for him, but we shouldn't have been on the edge of our seats. We should have been comfortably ahead. So we definitely need to be more ruthless, man. That's the biggest thing still that we need to get better at.
Yeah, do you know what? Can I just add something to that quickly, JR? Because I was distracted when you asked me the question earlier, yeah? So I kind of forgot where I was going with it mid-sentence.
That's cool, bro.
Yeah?
That's cool.
Then just kind of cut it because I got distracted. But
that's cool, man.
No, like what
Marcelo.
Piggybacking off what Marcelo was saying. In terms of when you asked me the question earlier, I think later on in games potentially, I don't think at the moment it should be like changing like for a Pepe or a Martinelli, yeah. But I think it should be more of a situation where, like some late in a game or, like 60 minutes gone or whatever like that, when he's thinking of throwing on an Nketiah or whatever to close out a game, I would potentially prefer to see him say, all right, do you know what, Martinelli, go up front. And then bring, and then potentially then say bring, I don't know, even like a Tavares or someone like that, yeah. Like when it's just late in the game, he's shutting up shop. You just close down your left-hand side or whatever, and then you've got Martinelli to, like use his pace and whatever, just to be a nuisance towards the end of the game. Because at least, you're maintaining a goal threat at that end of the pitch as well. Because I feel like when we take like him off or we take Laka off and we're putting Nketiah on, we're losing a goal threat and an outlet. And I just feel like that's potentially when we could experiment with something like that. But I don't feel like it's something we need to start from the off with at the moment.
No, 100%. But let's be fair to Eddie as well. Against Wolves the other day, he did come from the bench. He set up Pepe for that goal. Do you know what I'm saying? They changed the match. I see Colleen rolling her eyes. But at the same time, I do agree with you guys. Eddie's not good enough. I don't want to see Eddie there next season. No disrespect to him, but he's not good enough for what we're trying to achieve. But Marcel, I think you mentioned Leno. Obviously, it was a big shock for probably all of us that we saw him on the pitch. To be quite honest, I'm not gonna lie, because all respect to him, I thought it's all about Ramsdale, but obviously Ramsdale got the injury, a hip injury. Colleen, in terms of, are you concerned the fact that we may have to play Leno for these next couple of weeks? Because obviously there's no actual feedback as to when Ramsdale's due to come back. It is a hip injury. He's been taken out the England squad. Is there a concern in the next couple of weeks having to play Leno?
I mean, for me personally, no. I'm not. He's not a second-rate keeper. Okay, he played the reason why he's out of the team is because his distribution and decision making and how quickly he makes the decision throughout his whole Arsenal career has just been subpar. But so I think we have to adapt our game a little bit around that. I know Arteta likes to play out from the back, but if he was to be in it from, I'm not saying to scrap that completely, but we might do something to be a little bit more comfortable with Leno. Now, as a shot stopper, when we had Runnison as number 2 and it was just Leno.
Oh my days!
But forgetting how good Leno when it was Emery Ball, yeah, Leno was keeping us in games. He made a mistake here and there, like every footballer who's played for Arsenal has done. But like, I think it's a little bit over the top when people were panicking. It's like, you're literally disrespecting like a German.
What he's done.
He's a great shot stopper. We've evolved, so you can now tell the difference when he's in goal, like in terms of the way we play and the way we build up from the back. I'm not saying that that isn't the case, and we've kind of been a bit spoiled now, so we're starting to see what we like with Ramsdale and how our back five essentially is. But listen, needs must as devil drives. And he's probably the best second number 2 keeper in the league. Like if you look across all the teams,
he's up there.
Number 2.
But did he not worry you though? Because I was concerned because I ain't gonna lie. When like you said, we're gonna have to adapt. Arteta's gonna need to adapt with having Leno in the squad. But that distribution, it reminded me why I didn't like him, because every time he got the ball, he hoofed it up there certain times. Then we lost possession straight away against a better team, like with Chelsea, for example. We potentially could get punished for that, and it just worries me at the back. I started getting nervous again when we're played out from the back. With Ramsdale, we're so calm with it. It's different, But
I mean, a little bit. I did feel that kind of nervousness, but I think we just kind of have to accept a player as who they are, and it's like accepting Lacazette is probably going to miss an open goal or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, we have to accept. You know what I mean? Like,
I get it.
Certain limits, and it's not like we're going to go on like I don't want to jinx it. Like,
now Colleen.
That was what you just knocked in.
But like we're gonna listen. It's like if you lose like your star striker or or if we lost Partey or something like that. Okay, we are limited. So Arteta knew this, and so did Edu. They obviously believe that with the amount of games that we have and what resources we have available, whether we agree with it or not, is enough to get us to the finish line. So we just have to believe that they have a plan B, C, D, E in these scenarios. And until they not to trust that, I'm gonna trust what's going on.
And Killian, I agree with Leno though. I think hopefully with Ramsdale has been very, very good this season. There's no question about that. But I said it and I could see it coming when I was at the Wolves game. I could see a mistake coming. I've got no problem with Ramsdale. He's young and he is feeling very confident. Look, he's come from Sheffield United. He's at one of the biggest clubs in the world now, and he's thinking, hold on a second. We've got a chance of getting top 4. I love the team spirit. But, sometimes there was 1 or 2 risks and I could see a mistake. it was coming from a couple of games before. So maybe, hopefully this hip injury is not too bad. And the fact that Leno came in and gave such a stellar performance, sometimes that kind of and remember the goal that it was his fault for the first Liverpool goal. I thought was quite.
I think he needed that. I
think he needed that. Exactly. He needs that to remember.
There's cockiness and arrogance, and then there's like a step too far. And we're not that team yet. We're not that team. We're not that team yet. Do you know what I mean?
But they were saying that he was playing with an injury at those times, and that's why they needed to arrest him.
Well, he's been a bit cheeky.
He's been on the edge of reason a little bit with some of his.
But I think that's a good thing, because now he can look and think, okay, this is what happens at a big club. No disrespect to Sheffield United, but he was dropping some clangers, and I think one of the compliments that Arteta said is that he loved the fact that he would just come back, even though he made a mistake, and he'll come back. But at Arsenal, this is a different level, and I think it's a good thing for him to see, okay, if I start dropping these sort of clangers, I've got like a German international goalkeeper breathing down my neck. So I'm very sure when he's back in the team, I don't think we'll be seeing any near post conceded goals from him for a while. And Arsene Wenger's number one thing is it's good to vaccinate players, from making these mistakes. And sometimes when someone's breathing down your neck, you're going to think twice. And I think goalkeepers should be kept on their toes. I don't want people getting too comfortable. So Kalim's right with that one. But I get with the distribution. But he did well. Listen, he did well. Leno did well.
Barely any games this season. We've been out of the cups.
Yeah, facts.
No Europe. We have to give him credit that he wasn't completely rusty. You can tell that he's a top professional.
Yeah. And you know what? I was very worried when I saw him at the end as well, when Pepe gave away that foul. I hid in the toilet, man. I hid in the toilet. And I thought, no, this is happening now.
Yo, so I want to bring up a question for y'all, because it's been a few weeks since I was on here. And last time I was on here, I think it was right after Wolves, or relatively shortly after the Wolves win, where Pepe kind of, changed things for us. I'm having a feeling now, I think he's going to go in the summer, because... Yes. And I'm just bringing this up because when we talked after Wolves, Pepe, when we talked after, I know that's your guy too. I'm not here to criticize him. I got love for him, bro. Hear me out.
Who's that
guy? But the thing is, after the Wolves game, I think all of us were like, okay, he's finally shown what he can bring, and now it's time that he gets more minutes and gets a proper opportunity to show that he's been working and grinding. But now he's back to getting minimal minutes. And first of all, Arteta has shown that he didn't really rate almost anyone that we had that he didn't sign. He's already gotten rid of basically everyone that he did not sign, besides
Tierney,
literally Saka,
Tierney,
Xhaka, and Smith Rowe, right? And Laka. And so the Villa game, man, look, I'm not here. I have a lot of respect for Pepe, but I think he kind of proved to Arteta why he's going to go this summer, because if you go back and watch Pepe's cameo, he put us under so much pressure. And you brought up the worst one, JR, which was that free kick he gave away. Very clumsy, but every possession he had in those closing minutes, he was sloppy. He was too easily stripped of possession. When you're coming on as an attacker, when we're ahead 1-0, your main job usually in that kind of scenario is to just help us secure the win.
But
and
Marcelo,
he sort of
go on. No, I was going to say that
sort of made it way harder on us. That's the kind of shit that Arteta's not going to be cool with. And I think that was kind of like one of the final straws.
Because he comes on in that situation, he came on where we were not imposing ourselves. Even back when we were in the Europa League and even the Wolves game, he really thrives when we're imposing ourselves. Even in the Wolves game, there was a moment where he has to do a little bit of defending and just lost his run.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right.
Yeah, just after the goal as well.
Defensive football IQ, really, because it's not like Arteta's not telling him to do it. But when we're exposing ourselves in the game, or where we have to be all over the opposition, and I think that kind of tells where his level is in comparison to where we're trying to go. Because we saw it against Wolves, and then I can only really recall back in our Europa League days, really, where
he was
the best out of him. He's imposing himself.
Getting the goals.
I don't see this. I like Pepe, but I don't really see how he stays in the squad. And even for himself, he can't be a bench player. For considering what he was doing in France, he might as well just go back to France.
You lot are the worst friends, you know. You lot are the worst friends because I remember after the Wolves match, I swear you guys were like, yeah, Pepe is in, like he's that guy, he's the man.
You're like,
Pepe's gone.
I'm just sitting here listening, boy.
No, Pepe,
they'll snake you out, bro.
Pepe is still. I'm just
taking it all in.
With him. No, I'm not gonna lie. I've defended Pepe, and I'm not gonna write him off. But he was that Coutinho. If that ball would have went in, like I actually saw his whole Arsenal career on the line. Do you remember them times when
he was making it hard for even me at that point? Where I was like, "Yo, my guy, what are you doing to me, man?"
You know, when sometimes you're a kid or you were in school, or you got your siblings, and you know, it took me back to my childhood when it was me and my sister, and my mum had made the oxtail and rice, and she was like, "Listen, stop chatting and eat your dinner." Now, you know, when you're looking at your sister thinking she's still chatting, she's gonna get boxed any minute. You know, when you think like this is you, like I'm not even getting involved anymore. Like, you know how mum is like. She told you to come home at 4, you're rolling in at 6, you give her that, you open the door, you're like, you are finished. If that goal would have gone in, everyone knows his career would have been done. So I don't understand why. I'm like, Pepe, I can't help you, man, because sloppy as Marcelo was. Like, honestly, I was vexed with him as well. If that would have gone in, I would have done a complete U-turn. Lacazette would have been my new favorite player, and I would have just gone for it, man.
But
Lacazette would have been your new.
Yeah.
Wow. Saying you are not good friends. You're flip-floppers, man. All of you. Yeah.
100%.
But Marcelo, let me ask you a question. You did mention that there's been a lack of games for Pepe. Can we put some of his mistakes down to rustiness then? He's not getting the minutes. You said he needs to get the minutes.
Yes, you can, but
it doesn't matter.
You are in training every day, and we know that Arteta is obsessed with defensive resilience and defensive duties, because any real rebuild starts from the back. So no matter how rusty he is, there's such an emphasis on defending that there isn't really an excuse, like the rusty excuse doesn't really apply when you're just being that sloppy in these key moments. So as much as I really wanted, after the Wolves game, I think rightfully all of us were really excited because it had been overdue that he got a chance to make a statement in a big moment, and he made the statement. But then there was no follow-up. And so now when he's getting these opportunities, Colleen made a great point that, like, in the Premier League especially, there are going to be those games where you have to win ugly. And he's just not that guy who can help us win ugly. So it hurts, because he's got the talent. We all know that he's one of our most talented players. I think we've said before on this pod that he's our best finisher at the club at this point, right? But if you can't do it on both ends of the pitch, especially with Arteta now, it's just not going to work for you. It's just the sad reality of it,
It was suicide that he was doing. It was it was just suicide. I just couldn't believe it. I'm not gonna lie, I just could not believe what was going on, man. But we survived it though. But I think maybe, last thing, I think maybe Pepe is not the guy when you're away from home. Honestly, I know it sounds mad, and because we're trying to stagger our way to the top 4, and
more when you're chasing, man.
Yeah, you made a point that we just need to use what we've got here in the kitchen, innit? And look, there's certain ingredients that we don't have, and we just need to make the best. I think Pepe, the way he moved on Saturday on his day trip to the Midlands, I'm gonna say, listen, home games, that's cool, innit? But I can't trust you for these away games. If you're gonna do stuff like that on the edge of the box, do that at that edge of the box. Don't be doing this at this edge of the box in injury time as well. Like,
that was ridiculous. And do you know what makes it worse? He's on 140k per week. And I'm going to ask you now, because obviously they're talking about
Well, does that matter, bro?
No, let me tell you why. Because we're talking about
He's a footballer, bro.
Wait. The reason why we're talking about Saka's renewal, I'm going to ask each of you, how much do you think Saka is on currently? Just put in here one quick answer.
I can't answer because I
you know
this. Yeah, I won't answer.
All right,
it.
cool. We'll ask you.
Yeah.
Currently, yeah.
You're on like 40k or something.
All right, Kerr.
Do you know what? I saw this the other day, man. It was going around all the players' wages thing, man. But I can't even remember what his was off the top of my head.
Go on, give it a guess.
Arsenal women goal.
Big.
Come on. What's the score then?
1-1 all now.
Come on.
How long to go?
2 minutes.
Oh wow.
Big goal.
Who scored?
Sorry. I still can't make it out. I think it's our center back, one of our center backs.
Fair enough. But Kerr, go on, bro. You've had enough time now.
Yeah, what was it again?
He's seen it.
Hey, look at him trying to Google it.
And now Nabir's had enough time to pull out the
bit. Well, how much do you think he's on?
I don't really
business. I'm not googling that.
I reckon he's on about. Well, I don't know, but he might be on 35k. I don't know.
No, he only signed a 5-year contract not that long ago, right?
He definitely googled that. So
he's probably about 60 bags or something, man.
Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I've heard that he's on about 33k. So when you consider that Saka's probably one of our, you asked me why it doesn't matter. He's probably one of our better players. You know, he's keeping Pepe out the team. You know, just imagine you're at work, and you're doing all the work, and but then a man next to you who's on triple whatever you're on,
but we need to be careful, bro. We don't want to be doing a Rashford to ourselves right now.
I agree.
We don't want to be we don't want to be nah, man. But on a real though, we don't want to be giving him 200 bags, whether he's worth it right now or not. Let's be real. He's a young player. It's too early, innit? Like he don't need to be on them kind of money. We're not 30 bags. Obviously, he's worth more than that, innit? Yeah. So you can put him in line with more of his peers or whatever, innit? But like Pepe was brought in and put on that money because he was our highest. He was our highest record transfer or whatever, innit? So he come in with that expectation, with that money. Right, fair enough. It hasn't worked out. But that's why he got that money in it. You get what I'm saying?
To be fair, JR, when we worked together at John Lewis, I also asked that question, how we were on the same hourly rate.
And he's a double you got room, man. He's a double you.
I was thinking, why is he on this thing here? So I don't know why you're playing this
you know what?
wicked game, you know.
As 16-year-olds, we got good money working there, bro.
You did for nothing. Yeah, you were never on you were like, I was thinking this man.
I had all the chat back in the day, man.
But you know what? We have to. Kurt, I get what you're saying that because of his age and stuff. Do you know what? Listen, we're in that situation now. I always like giving my little situations where you've got a very, very attractive girlfriend, and yes, you want to take her to Nando's, but it's not gonna run, my bro. Like you have to just say, listen.
I'm not saying don't pay him what he's worth. I'm not saying don't pay him what he's worth, but I'm saying it ain't. I'm not saying it's not about making him the highest paid player at the club right now.
No one's saying that though. No one's saying that.
No, that's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, he don't need to be. We don't need to be putting him into like. That's what I'm saying. Increase his money in that, but pay him what he's worth, innit? Like amongst what his peers are being worth, innit? Like he ain't gotta be.
He's got a higher ceiling though. You're right about that. Yes, Partey. You're right. Partey is, but Saka, you got to think about potentially where he could go. And sometimes
England international.
This is the. I know what you're saying.
I just feel like we are making a rod for our own back. Like I said, like you have to give him something that he's going to be happy with, innit? Like that he's going to sign. I'm not saying risk losing him by not offering him what he's worth. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is we need to be mindful of giving young players too much too soon, is what I'm saying.
I fully agree with you. So allegedly we were looking to offer him 125k, which I think is reasonable for a player of his age. If he accepts it, then, you know, but then say he turned around and said, you know what, like, hold up, Sancho's on 350k at Man United. He's an England international that I'm keeping out.
But it's not my money, innit? If Arsenal give him £1 million a week, then let him have the £1 million a week, innit?
Oh, so you change your
I
mind
won't
now,
be
yeah?
hating on the brother, innit? I won't be hating on the brother, innit? But
would you say he's too young, and would you just say, do you know what? Let's drop our pants and
Saka?
give him what he wants? Yes. No. Yeah, because I agree with what Kerr said as well. His sentiment, the fact that you can give young players too much too early, and it kind of is to their detriment. And sometimes we've seen the likes of Ozil, we've seen the likes of Aubameyang. They got the check, and they never played football again.
For me, though, the main difference, like,
let me not buy.
For example, when you throw Rashford's name into that mix, like, I understand why, but when you think about where Man U was, Rashford wasn't within a year of his debut one of the best players in the team. Saka is one of our 3 best players. He's not just like a 20-year-old.
That's more the state of our team, though, bro.
That's
that was
true.
more
That's true.
Like at Man United, he was still surrounded by stars, innit? Like Saka obviously has come in at a time where we didn't really have many of those.
But ultimately, though, don't just look at the state of our squad. Look at the best young players in the league. He's top 2, if not 1, for me. True, right?
That's U21.
Well. So it's not.
Bro, you're acting like I'm saying I don't rate Saka. That's a completely different argument, bro. I'm just saying. All I'm saying is we need to be mindful. That's all I'm saying. Like, pay him what he's worth. Keep him at the club. You get what I'm saying? I'm just saying that it doesn't have to be like mad exuberant right now.
Sorry. I mean, obviously, none of us know Saka personally, but from the things that kind of creeped out of the club that you hear from your Romanos, things like that, it kind of seems like, the money is kind of irrelevant if we're not matching the ambition as a club. So, I mean, we could throw him 200k a week, but if we don't make the Champions League this season or the next, for example, we could give him 300k a week. He's not staying for that. Yeah, I think the money. I agree that we shouldn't. I don't think young players should earn ridiculous amounts of money, but it's a balance. It's in balance with our ambitions as well. And I think if our ambitions aren't on the same trajectory as his career is looking like it's on, we can. It doesn't matter how much we throw at him; he's gone.
I like Lacazette's on 150.
Come on, bro. He's at the end of his career, but yeah. But
I'm trying to add that in.
One thing I would say, I do agree with Kerr's sentiment. I don't want to give someone, a young player, too much too early. I like the model of Liverpool. They've got top players, they're winning everything, but they're not like Man United giving out stupid paychecks. Do you know what I'm saying? And they're actually winning things. Salah's trying to argue to get his pay rise. They're trying to hold back with him.
I think that's a mistake from them, though. That's a mistake from them. Trust me on that one.
They've already bought his replacement as well, though. They got the likes of Diaz and them man coming through. They Jota. They know what they're doing. Like, they'll say, all right, cool. But I agree with you. Salah is a bad boy. So I would go back to the table.
I'm over the moon. Yeah, I would.
Yeah. No, fair enough. So Colleen, in terms of completely off that subject, in terms of we've had a good season so far. I think we all agree. In terms of the players so far, if you could pick one player that is your player of the season for us at this current moment. Obviously, the season hasn't ended yet, but who would you say is that standout person for you?
I mean, I feel really unfair what I'm about to say, but I kind of want to put Saka to one side in this because I almost feel like it's a little bit. He's just on another. I just want to put him to one side.
Yeah, he's special, isn't it? Yeah.
Like I think that'd just be such an easy answer to say. I'm talking about impact on the team outside of Saka. I think from where Ødegaard was when we first had him on loan for that period and how much he's grown and has become so influential in our team, I think he's personally mine. But I think all of our new signings could have a shout for how influential they have been, to be honest with you. But for me personally, I personally didn't think he was, I thought he was aight for us. I'm not going to lie to you in his loan spell. I wasn't. If we were choosing between him and Maddison, I wouldn't have been mad if he went for Maddison. I would have forgotten about Ødegaard like that. I'll be honest. Like I wasn't, in my opinion, I just wasn't. I thought he was good. I didn't mind if we signed him. I was ambivalent if we didn't. But so for him, the way he changed my mind and how influential he has been in games, considering, especially at the beginning of the season, how he's grown. Because I remember when we played Tottenham, even though we won at home, I was quite concerned with our lack of creativity in the middle. an interlink play. It was all down wide areas. It didn't seem sustainable in terms of on the break.
And it's predictable.
Yeah, so just on that aspect, and I'm looking at more of an offense-based look of Arsenal. For me, he's mine thus far. Not to say that he doesn't have improvements to make. One touch is too many. Needs to have a shot earlier on. But just from how much I've seen him growing since he's first come, and how a lot of our play goes through him, for me, it's Odegaard.
Yeah.
No, fair enough.
I think Odegaard has done very well. But we've got to put Saka to the side because he's the star boy. So we'll put him to the side. I think we've had a lot of good
Agreed.
players,
I think we can all agree on that one.
We'll put him to the side. But for me, play of the season so far for me has been Mr. Benjamin White. And,
is it?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Wow.
He has. And because at the beginning,
I wouldn't put them two together, you know.
Wow.
No, for me, it's the play. And the reason.
Wow.
Yeah, no. And the reason. No, let me land. But for me, Benjamin White, there's it's not only how they are playing, but it's the challenges that they face. Now, when we went to Brighton with 50 mil, I didn't think my man was coming through the door. Like, I've been in them situations before where you're thinking, okay, you're gonna come with something, and then I thought it was gonna be Basuma. When I saw Ben White's face, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie. We've all had that, bro. It just reminded me of times where someone said, "Listen, this is a brethren is Chris. Trust me, let's go on this double date." And you know what I mean? I've seen this thing and I'm like, yo, this is gonna be a long evening. You know what I mean? So when Ben White came, when Ben White came, I was very underwhelmed. Like seriously underwhelmed. But let me just speed this up. He knows he's come from Brighton. It's a massive step up. He's come to the Arsenal. Nobody wanted Ben White. And £50 million, everyone was like, we've overpaid for this guy. Arteta pushed this. He said, listen, I need a ball carrying defender that can bring out the ball. We need this guy. This is the guy that is going to change things. I was thinking Arteta again. I'm vexed with him anyway from the season 8th place. So I'm not really listening to anything that he's saying. And he's coming out and saying that jackass stuff. I was thinking, no way. Varane has gone from 40 mil to United. I'm like, nah, I'm putting it in the calculator. It's not making any sense. But let's just be real. Bar Ramsdale. Leno has been there. Okay, Tomiyasu is coming. He's been injured. I'm looking at the defense. You haven't conceded from a set piece. Gabriel's already been here, you know. So I've seen Gabriel. I've seen Tierney. And you, man, were decent. Since this guy's come in, that defense, whether you like it or not, that even combination with Gabriel to build that partnership, to come in for 50 mil and to be the guy that everyone knows, this guy ain't worth it, to quietly go about his business. For me, if Ben White's out, I'm panicking. I'm not even lying. For me, that's the one. If he's out, I'm thinking, shit, just the way we play. Who's going to get that ball to Odegaard quick? Who's going to get this, So for me, the fact that he's come from a smaller club, the fact that he's had the price tag, the fact that nobody had any faith in him whatsoever, and now the records don't lie. We have not conceded from a set piece. Guys, this is, I think it's just Arsenal. And now we're relying, as you guys were saying it, even if we go 1-0 up, we're confident that we will not concede. Now, Gabriel's always been there, and I've not been confident. Tierney's been there, and I've not been confident. Tomiyasu ain't even playing. So I'm thinking, okay, what's the difference?
No, he has been a good attribute, but Kerr, I can see you're getting frustrated in that corner over there. So I'm
not frustrated, bro. I'm just, you know what? It's just funny, man. It's just because I love it though. I love it because there's been a different take, and I know everyone here is gonna have a different person. Like obviously, we all put Saka to the side.
Who would you pick though? Who would you pick then?
I'm gonna pick his partner, who he's just saying, bro.
Gabriel.
Yeah, that's my guy. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Other than I think there's probably been 2, maybe 3 games so far this season where I thought, you know what, he was a little bit rash and a bit shaky. One of them he got sent off in, and I think maybe 2 other games
went wrong.
he was a little bit not quite
And the
himself.
the Wolves game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there was a couple, there's a couple games, I'll tell you about 3 or so, but it's few and far between. But for me, I understand exactly what Nabil is saying, like we've seen Gabriel before, we've seen Tierney before, like we've seen these guys. So I understand why he's attributing a lot of this to Ben White. And I think Ben White, especially over the last 6 to 8 weeks, especially probably since the new year, has definitely been right there with Gabriel. Like, and that's the thing. I feel like earlier in the season, Gabriel was propping Ben White up a lot, personally. I felt that Gabriel was the more dominant defender, etc. And I felt like he was covering and helping Ben White out a lot in certain situations while he was adjusting, But I feel like since the new year, Ben White's come into his own. And now I feel like they're a proper partnership. I feel like... So one game, I feel like Ben White might be the more, or put in the more accomplished performance. And then I feel like on another game, it might be Gabriel. Do you get what I'm saying? I feel like each game, it can alternate between them. Since like the new year, but I feel like before that, I felt like Gabriel. I just feel like if, like what Nabil was just saying though, he said Ben White. For me, if Gabriel's missing, I get worried personally. Because I feel like, because you see what Ben White, he's a good player. He's a good defender. He likes to obviously carry the ball out and things like that for us. Good distributor. However, I feel like Gabriel, I feel like he's a bit underrated in his distribution for us because I feel like he does punch them passes in a lot. I think I saw a stat even the other day that he's actually one of our highest passes in the team that we've got at the moment, Gabriel. So, and I was surprised because I thought obviously it's even more known that that we use Ben White more, or so I thought. But Gabriel's actually got the higher passes, etc. But but even with, as I say, I just feel like with Gabriel, the way he plays, I like the fact that he's the dominant centre back, innit? He's the player who's gonna go in and dominate whoever your main guy is in like striker or whatever. Gabriel wants to get in there and dominate him, and I just feel like that's what we can't replace that. Like when we lose him, I feel like we lose a lot of athleticism from that back line without him there.
Man did get sent off against City as well. I'm just going to add that.
No, that's what I said. He had that one game. He had that one game. But there's been but listen. In that same game, that you said he had a shaky game. Wolves. Ben White tripped that defender on the halfway line. The ref sees that. What's he getting?
Yeah, he's done that a couple of times, Ben White.
And that's what I'm saying. I've seen him do a few things as well, bro, where you think, oh, hang on a minute. Like, there's been occasions. You get what I'm saying? Even the Tottenham game this season, when we played the derby, bro, on Kane, and everyone was like, oh, is that a penalty? Like, he's done some things himself. So, it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? But
he hasn't been sent off, though. But yeah, you're right.
But can I just say that? Can I just say that Nabil is definitely that annoying brother?
No, trust me.
I do feel sorry for his sister.
I'm stating facts, man. I'm stating facts.
Listen, we're coming towards the end of the show, but I just wanted to share with you like the.
Oh wait, let me throw mine in there. I'm waiting patiently.
He was waiting patiently.
Man, let's reload that.
First, real quick. I like what I'm hearing, though, in the balance between Nabir and Kurt's answers, because what I hear in that is we need a new contract for William Saliba. Jeez. Because you are both nervous when one of them is out, which means we don't trust Holding enough, right? So that's for the next episode is the Saliba contract, because that's starting to get cooked up right now. But
hopefully Arteta can be better. Yeah, hopefully Arteta can work on these man-to-man.
Oh yeah, because he hasn't been so far. He hasn't worked on it. I'm just. Anyways, you get that goes over my. You miss me with that. You know what I'm saying? But man, Thomas Partey for me. Definitely, man.
This side of 2022, he's been
But even before that, we have to remember that he was playing with a rookie. He was playing with Sambi Lokonga as his partner, who's new to the Premier League, came from Belgium, and Belgium to the Premier League, man. That's a different grade. So like, I think that we also have to keep in mind that like he entered the new year after playing with Sambi Lokonga for 2-3 months straight. It's hard to find your actual rhythm when you're sort of having to compensate for somebody who's so new and still not up to speed yet. So I just admire his honesty in saying that he was only a 4 out of 10 up until that point when he was interviewed. And since then, I think that he has been by far our best player this year.
Phenomenal.
And the difference when we have him, well, we haven't seen us without him really, but the difference that he's made since he's been back has been insane. And I think that if we get top 4, he's the guy that like I would be giving the most flowers to. And people are like, I couldn't even resist like a slight knock on Xhaka, but people are giving a lot of this credit to Xhaka.
You're
It's
right.
Partey, bro. Xhaka's doing his thing. But Partey just needs someone who's like solid enough to let him run the show.
Man. And they've just moved him out. And Partey and Mikel Arteta have just said, you know what, Xhaka, you get out the way and let Partey deal with them things there.
He's like, you know what I'm saying? Go where you're not going to get sent off.
Get out of the way, man, but you're not in the way.
Hang out with Lacazette. Yeah, hang out with Lacazette. Be a hazard. So I think Partey for me has just been such a game changer. And I'm just really excited to see who we sign in the summer that's going to be able to match his level and then send us to that next level Arteta's been starting to allude to, because that's the next phase is leveling up, man.
No, yeah.
I hear
you. Some good opinions there from all of you still. I'm just going to share let me know when you can see it. Listen,
the fact that we all got different players.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
You love to see it.
Firstly, can you guys see that, or is it too small?
You're using that design was crazy, right? My boy,
mad, bro.
Yeah, he went off with that tube line. Yeah.
Hey, don't get me down for copyright, bro. But yeah. Pick up your guy still. He done his thing. I like it.
He killed that. Yeah.
He did kill it still. So yeah, we're just gonna look at the remaining fixtures for each of them. I'm not gonna go through each one, but firstly, the first question would be, in terms of those fixtures that are remaining, who has the easier remaining fixtures? So if you look at the likes of Arsenal, obviously we've got Chelsea, we've got Manchester United, we got Tottenham to play still, we got West Ham away as well.
Spurs, isn't it?
Yeah, Spurs. Bar the
on
Liverpool,
paper, Spurs.
Liverpool need
but
to do us a favour.
They're the sort of teams though that Spurs will mess up against, because they're the lesser teams are the ones that won't attack them as much.
They've also got us as well. That's not there, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I think they've definitely got the easiest running. But looking at our one, I think the next 3 games are pivotal.
Yeah,
Palace
massive.
Away,
We need
Brighton
points
at
there,
home, and then Southampton away.
I
honestly think if we win those 3 games, I think we're in the top 4.
Yeah,
honestly, yeah. I definitely. I mean, the Palace one is going to be a big one, but I'm confident of us winning all those 3 games. I know Palace have just drawn. Well, they've actually taken 4 points off City.
Yeah.
So, but I reckon, if we get 6 points out of that, Chelsea will be a bit iffy. I think Man United at home, but I reckon we'll be on the trajectory from them. But yeah, Spurs have definitely on paper got the easiest. But with Conte's teams, he likes to play this sort of counter-attacking and hitting them. Now, he's very good against, obviously, West Ham. You saw what happened. Against the top teams, City, they like to do that. But these other teams are going to be having, 10 men behind the ball anyway. So this is where problems could arise. But I told you, Spurs ain't out of it.
They to get consistent wins all season. Literally, just after what's happened.
Yeah.
That
was their first back-to-back, isn't recently?
But to hit. That actually ruined my weekend. Actually,
I know.
They had a perfect weekend. And
do you know what? They did look good though. They did look good. That combination of Kane, Son, and what's that other guy My gosh, what a bad boy player! Like them 3, I ain't gonna lie, they're dangerous. Kane was like he was dropping in as well, and then playing the ball to Son. It was crazy. But
I don't think it's enough to show they can be consistent though.
Yeah, you're not scared.
Team out of the 3 that have shown, even though we might have the harder fixtures on paper, that we can actually grind out a result and keep the momentum going even after a loss. United and Spurs haven't shown that. they could be playing Norwich every day of the week and they probably would lose like, you know, a couple of those games. So I'm not convinced in their mentality, if I'm honest with you.
And Kaleem, what about United? No one's really talked about them on this list. Obviously, I didn't include West Ham, but I kind of feel they've got too much going on in Europe.
The thing is with United, like we all know about their mentality and their culture. There's just something off there that's preventing them from like clicking. My fear is that they click because they have good depth and they've got the quality players. But you know, it's a long season. We're at the tail end of it. I don't see why they've done nothing to show me that that's what will happen. But it's just the fear of that could happen just because of, you know, the amount of quality and in depth that they've got. But I'm just going to go off a basic, not just recent form, but just the trajectory of the season. And we've just been, hence the position we're in now, where we've still got a game in hand and we're still looking in a nice spot. I'm still confident. I think Spurs will tail off personally. Not even saying that just because it's Spurs, just because it's not been consistent enough under Conte. Whereas United, they're the ones where they could have like the worst game and still somehow win 3 on the trot and play awful garbage football. But then you also have those 0-0 draws with Watford at home. So we're all in the same boat because of that reason. We just in the tail end, we're finishing off stronger. So they're yet to show that they can do that.
Yeah. Do you know what? How great it is that like we're all confident and united in the fact that Arsenal can make top 4. Because throughout this whole season, there's been divide, so to speak. You know, there's a couple of names, not going to mention them there, who haven't been too confident in what we could do.
No, listen, I've said it. Listen, top 4 or bust. I said this from the beginning of the season. You guys are all being tentative. Oh, 6th. Oh, 5th.
You want top 4? Yeah.
I said it. Listen, if he ain't getting top 4, I'm not business in.
It was more hope than expectation, though, innit? Let's be real.
Yeah, it was.
No,
exactly.
It was. I wanted him out, but what I'm saying, that's what it was. Like,
you just pulled that out of nowhere. We didn't mention his name. God damn.
You hear the tone as well.
No, he has irritated me all season. But you know what it is? It's a results business. He's obviously watched the podcast and said, you know what? We need to do top 4. And that's what's happening. I'm happy. But if we drop out of that, Lord, you know I'm ready. I'm one of them guys. I'm just ready to turn at any moment.
Man's ready to a boss shot at any moment, bro.
Every time Aubameyang scores, this guy messages me, with some next stat or the fact that he scored. Like every week.
We'll be here for another hour, bro.
We're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there. But what we're gonna say is big up to Patrick Vieira for being introduced into the Hall of Fame. My guy,
legend.
Definitely deserves top guy.
Uncle Pat right there.
Yaya Toure or Patrick Vieira? Was that a stupid question?
Pat. No. Look, they're different players, but for me, Patrick Vieira. There's 2 players. I know we've got the statues outside. There's 2 players I feel were that close to getting the statue, and for me, Patrick Vieira. I think he should have got the statue. He's our best midfielder. I've watched him over 60
man. He
times.
Was ridiculous, man.
It's what he was doing. Like for me,
every facet of the game, bro.
I love him. I love him. Like honestly, in terms of world-class midfield players,
he was another level, man. Another level.
World Cup, 3 titles.
Another level.
The guy was definitely.
But for me, I think he should. Honestly, I think he should have got one. I think he should have slipped someone and said, you know what? Yeah.
Yaya's the only thing I've seen close.
As long as Arsene Wenger's been, with all Arsene Wenger's success and all of his league titles, Patrick Vieira was pivotal in all of them. All of them. So for me, he should be outside. And Ian Wright, I think we got to sneak him in there. Well.
Ian Wright's just a legend anyway, though, man.
Come on, man. I don't know how he went in there, man.
Facts. Those celebrations alone, like top legend.
Uncle Ratty right there, man. Come on.
Trust me. Telling Rashford how to do it.
That's the reason, man, supports this thing right here, you know.
Exactly. Facts. I wanted
to go to at like 8 years old just because of that nigga, bro.
I was gonna talk about they were comparing like the best number 10 as well in the Premiership ever. Micah Richards and Alan Shearer. And Alan Shearer, I think he put Scholes as his number 1, then he put Bergkamp, then he put Silva. Micah Richards put Bergkamp at the top, Silva, and then Hazard. And to pick their 10. So
what's that? Top of what?
So the best number 10 of the Premiership, like, of all time. Best number 10 in the Premiership of all time. But yeah, we could be here all day. Yeah, Scholes was hard though. Scholes
no. As a 10 though.
Yeah,
it's kind of I agree, because I would even. But would you put De Bruyne in as a number 10, or am I going mad? Nah.
Yeah, De Bruyne is.
You can.
You know what? I think you can put De Bruyne anywhere. I think he's.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You can.
Him and Bergkamp, I like. Yeah, them two. Yeah, it seems like this is like the Bergkamp reincarnated, isn't it, with him? But
he's a bad boy.
Midfield. It's just the touches, but yeah, I think De Bruyne is definitely in that.
Who'd you say put Bergkamp as their number 1?
No, Bergkamp was
Micah Richards.
Real one.
Yeah.
But Bergkamp
you don't know where I'm from, dog.
Yeah.
You don't know where I'm from, dog.
Yeah,
that was bad still.
Clint Dempsey, bro.
That's mad. That was mad. But yeah, for me personally, it would be Bergkamp, because he was when he played football, it was like poetry, to be quite honest.
Blood. That was a genius right there,
the touch.
Oh, blood.
Different.
Anyhow it come, you know. Anyhow it come.
Yeah.
Listen. Techers.
He was unbelievable, man.
Techers,
anyway,
my days.
Listen, this was big today. We had some good discussions. Thank you all for coming on. As always, I always forget to say, like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. But people, until next time, peace out, man. Have a good week. Yeah. And if you ain't watched it yet, watch Top Boy. Remember, I told you. Yeah, that's my recommendation for this week. All right, I'm done.